Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jacob. I'm the co-founder of Concrete Matter, and I'm coming from to you from our store in Amsterdam. We're going to do a series of Instagram TV shows, basically, and we decided to start our first one focused on camouflage, the good old hiding in plain sight, is what we'd like to call it. At the end of this video, we're going to disclose what our discount thing is going to be on this first session. But before that, I would like to take you through basically a summarization of our collection, and see if I can trigger your interest as much as we do on the broad and vivid theme of camouflage. So, of course, camouflage in the animal kingdom has been around forever. Humans officially, in a military sense, started adopting it in the First World War, when the French actually camouflaged their buildings to make them invisible from the air. And you could say that before that there were British troops in an Indian war where they dyed their uniforms in curry and they became khaki, which is also a sort of camouflage, but that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about like DPM, so disruptive pattern material. Basically you print on a piece of fabric that blends in whatever surrounding the military unit would find itself. There's some old ones. This one, for example, even though it's still being used today, it's called San Marco or Telematica. It's actually a Italian camouflage, and it stems still from the late 1920s. It's still in use today. We have it in the form of this super cool San Marco Camo pants, like paratrooper pants, and also in our, I think it's a tanker overall, which is just an amazing piece, different shades of blue and gray on this particular item. So after the 1920s, the First World War, the Second World War saw way more use of camouflage. And one of the more famous ones is probably this one. This jacket itself is actually a Belgian jacket from the 1950s, worn in the Belgian Congo. But the pattern is called a Dennison brush stroke, named after Captain Dennison, who outfitted his paratrooper unit during the jump into Normandy. And they were actually hand painting with brushes their gear. Hence, well, you can still see the hairs and the strokes on this. It's called a brush stroke camo, and done in an amazing cool Belgian smock. And basically in this scheme, so you would say like a green undertone. There's quite a broad range of camos, maybe the most common ones, and among those probably this Woodland Camo is one of the most common ones, still being used here and there, used in the Netherlands, but originally from the USA. Yeah, very sort of well-known camo, both urban, both in the outdoors and whatever. A predecessor to the Woodland Camo is this Vietnam era ERDL camo. I don't know the exact abbreviation, but this one was specifically issued to the US Marine Corps in Vietnam. And this jacket is called a jungle jacket. I'm wearing a US Army, a green one, but this one is the US Marine Corps version. And you can see how it's sort of similar to Woodland, but it misses the black spheres, the black tones. Quite a rare jacket, light poplin fabric, and especially the slanted pockets is something that a lot of people like for some reason. It gives it a bit of a break, and it makes it extra special. You see these slanted pockets also back in this amazing 1980s, 1990s British jungle camo jacket. Also slanted pockets, quite similar, but again, slightly different as well. It's just nice to see all the variations within that same theme. Because again, this is also a Dutch one, also a jungle one, but this is also a Dutch one, also a jungle one, and again, completely different. So all different armies play with the concept of colors and try to do their own thing in hiding themselves in whatever environment they're in. Here we have quite a rare piece. It's a Czechoslovakian airborne camouflage from the 22nd Airborne Division, issued in 1960. Briefly used only. Later it was adapted, I think, in Yemen and somewhere else. But this is an original Czech salamander camo, what we call it. We have even a nicer, super bright example. They're quite rare, and we're thrilled to have them. And yeah, at one point we decided to keep them all and just cherish them and whatever, put them away. But we are always saying we're not a museum actually, so it's nice to showcase them to you. There's another sort of subcategory of camouflages which you would call pea camouflages. So this is a typical Austrian parka, also 1959 I think this one is. But the base pattern is what you could call pea or even frog skin. This is a rare one. This is a Dutch Commando jacket from the 1950s, heavily influenced by the US Marine Corps Pacific Theater frog skin camo, but way rarer because there were basically very few Dutch commandos active. And another completely non-military section, but a section I really like, is so-called duck hunter camos. You see that there's a very strong link between the official army ones and the non-official hunting ones. This is a 1970s US duck hunter jacket, so it features the typical poacher's pouch where you would put your catch in. It has some padding for your rifle, but it's not military, but it looks a lot like military. And if you go on, you can even have these amazing real tree hunting gears where the fabric is emulating this type in the North American oak scenery to blend in. And if you go on, you can it almost becomes an abstract, because is this still camo? Yeah, it is, because it's a hunting jacket, but it's also almost like a piece of art in the way that it's done. So that's a brief overview, and it's interesting to note that this camo we have here, it's quite famous actually. It's called the German Flecktarn, or like spot camo. It's almost like a digital print, and it's interesting because it's an old one. It's also 1920s, early 1930s. But if you look at some of the most recent ones, which are these, US Navy Multicam or Digicam, this is the state of the art. This is a computerized imagery. This is, tested and proven to work very well, all sorts of environments. It gives the least amount of visibility. But in a funny way, it's actually pretty similar to what the Germans were doing with their still in use Flecktarn. So, I don't know, you can use a lot of computers and you can go all over the place, but in the end, something that was old might still be very useful today. I can briefly touch upon another segment, which is desert camo. Super cool, both American. This one is called a chocolate chip because of the little black spots in there. I think Notorious B.I.G. wore it quite often. It made it quite famous. And this one is a super nice, also US Army coffee stain camo, they call it, because of the brown elements in there. So yeah, camouflage is fascinating. We've got these amazing duck hunter wool-rich coveralls. Another one in a cool forest print. And we keep finding new ones. And this is just a selection. There's even more, but we have to focus at one point. Thanks for your attention. I would like to come back to my notes that I said in the beginning. There's going to be a discount on all camouflage from the moment this video has been posted for the 48 hours after that. And if there's a camo you're looking for that you might have seen in the past on our Instagram or whatever, and you're not seeing it here or not on our website, feel free to contact us via Instagram, via email, to arrange like a FaceTime chat so we can show you the other stuff that we have. And make you comfortable and just take our time with you and show you everything that we can, that we have, and take you with us on our camo journey. Thanks for watching.